Om Gajananam Bhutaganaatisevitam Kapishtajambu Phalasarapakshitam Umasutam Soka Vinashakaranam Namami Vigneshwara Padapankajam Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanuravardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Sarvatra Govindanama Sankirtanam Govinda Govinda. So last lesson we had covered first chapter. I talked about the 14th verse. So today we will start as usual with the overview of this lesson, and then we will go with every verse. And as I recite, you recite again, and then I will explain the meaning. So that is the methodology that we have been following. It's good. Now, you see the first part which you had last lesson, we saw that the Kauravas, the team members, the chief of the armies, were all introduced by Duryodhana to Dronacharya. In this lesson you will find the verses starting from 15, it starts shifting focus to the Pandava side. And you will find the names of various conches are mentioned in this. Whereas on the Dhritarashtra side, Kauravas, even though they blew the conches, the names were not mentioned. Maybe Vyasacharya is partial to Pandavas. So here you have got the specific names of conches mentioned. And it also gives a lot of titles, different names with titles. Krishna himself has got many names. As you know, it's Achyutaya Nama, Anantaya Nama, Govindaya Nama. 12 names you follow in Achamanam, right? All these refer to one individual or one deity. So here they have got meaningful titles and also adjectives being used. So you should know these adjectives have got different stories also behind them. So at the end of this you will find that there is readiness for the battle. It actually signals the readiness for the battle. And finally, when we are going to conclude this lesson, you will find that Arjuna really speaks out his mind. So that is a quick overview of what we are going to learn today, which is pretty good, I think, because this is proceeding in steps. Okay, shall we go to the verse 15?
I think 15 you read last time.
15 you read last time, 16 I think you read this time.
Okay, anyway, I am going to start with this because it has got the link.
Sure.
So this time what I have done, I have also given the English version. Not only the Sanskrit version but also the English version, because some people last time wanted it to be in English also. When I met someone, he said, I don't know Devanagari. So will you also give me in English? I said, okay. So I've added that. And in fact, that is also better because it will help you to understand the pronunciation, especially where you have a very long word coming in. Okay. So we are... So, okay. Let's start. 14 will very quickly go to. Tatasvetai hayai yukte
Tatasvetai
Mahati Sandane Sthitau Madhava Pandavaschaiva Divyau Shankau Pradatmatuhu. Now, here actually, Tatasvetai hayai. This Shweta means white, and hayai means referring to horses, white horses. Yukte is the yoke which connects these horses. And Mahati Chandane Sitau, it is referring to the people who are all there, Sitau. Mahati is big. Madhavaha, I explained the meaning last time. Pandavaschaiva, referring to Arjuna. Divyo Shanko Pradat Madhu, they started. The next verse is Panchajanyam Hrishikesho
Panchajanyam Hrishikesho
Devadattam Dhananjayaha
Devadattam Dhananjayaha
Poundram Dadmo Mahashankam
Poundram Dadmo Mahashankam
Bhimakarma Vrikodaraha
Bhimakarma Vrikodaraha.
Now you see, Panchajanyam is the name of the conch. See, many of these conches were earlier asuras. But due to some good act, they became conch. And this Panchajanyam actually there was an asura called Panchajanya Asura who got a boon and then he became Krishna's conch, so which is a great thing. Hrishikesho. Hrishikesho is referring to, but what is the meaning of Hrishikesho? Hrishikesho, Rishi means referring to the sense organs. So this is Hrishikesho is Lord of the sense organs, one who is able to control the mind and who is able to sense what you are thinking. In fact, especially referred because Krishna is already sensing what is happening in Arjuna's mind. So Hrishikesho. Devadattam Dhananjayaha. Now Devadattam is the name of the conch. Dhananjayaha refers to Arjuna. Dhanam Jayaha means what? Dhanam means what?
Wealth.
Well, Jayaha means?
Winning.
No, Arjuna was a very wealthy person. He had conquered many places. He had appropriated a lot of wealth from people who had amassed it in various ways. But for good, he will distribute it to the poor. And he was considered one of the most successful soldiers, not only in skills but also in personal life. The reference here is given, despite all this wealth, he had a problem in his mind, which is going to be revealed later on. So material success was not really solving his problem. Poundram Dadmo Mahashankam. Now Poundram Dadmo. Poundram is again a conch. Bhima Karma Vrikodaraha. Now Bhima Karma Vrikodaraha. Bhima is Vrikodaraha. Vriko means wolf. Udaraha means stomach. You have Damodaran, you know. Now people have the Damodaran. Damodaran refers to Krishna.
Tied to the stomach, yeah. Oral
Damam means really the rope. Udaram means stomach. One who is tied a rope in the stomach is called Damodaran. So here Vrikodaraha, this is Vriko is a wolf, Udaram. One hears the stomach of a wolf. If you see a wolf, you know, which has got certain unique qualities. It can digest any amount of food. But the stomach, instead of bulging out, it will be kind of concave. Have you seen a wolf?
I haven't seen it.
Go, if you see it in close quarters, it hasn't got a big bulging stomach like an elephant. It's got concave, but it's powerful. So Bhima is somebody who can digest any amount of food. And that is why he's got a Mahashankam. Because if it is ordinary Shankam, if he catches it, it will break. So he's got a big conch. Mahashankam, Bhima Karma, Vrikodaraha. So see, each one of these adjectives is talking about some quality. And you have to be very careful because these names can be confused. Like Panchajanyam is the name of a conch. Hrishikesha is the name of an individual. So you can't say Panchajanyam blew Hrishikesha. It is the other way about. When using these names, you have to make sure which is individual's name. Now Devadattam. Devadatta is also the name of an individual. So you can't say Devadattam blew Dhananjayaha. So in Sanskrit you have to be a little careful here where the usage is concerned. Okay. Ananta Vijayam Raja
Ananta Vijayam Raja
Kunti Putro Yudhishthiraha
Kunti Putro Yudhishthiraha
Nakula Sagadevascha
Nakula Sahadevascha
Sugosha Badi Pushpakau
Sugosha Mani Pushpakau
Ananta Vijayam Raja. A very simple word really. Ananta Vijayam means what? Vijayam means victory. Ananta means always. Always victorious. Who is that Raja?
Yudhishthira.
You know how you got this name Yudhishthira? Yudhi Sthiraha. Yudhi means in warfare. Yuddham. Yuddhathula வந்து ஸ்திரமா இருக்கக்கூடிய one who is stable and very firm in warfare. That's why he got the name Yudhishthiraha. He was also son of Kunti. Kunti Putro Yudhishthiraha. He was always victorious in Raja. Nakulaha Sahadevascha. They are the other two Pandavas who had these Mani, Pushpagam and Sugosha. There were two names of conches. Their respective conches. Sugosha, Mani, Pushpakau. They have the Sugosha is one conch, Mani, Pushpakam is another one. So they blew those conches. You see the names of conches are mentioned here. In Kauravas that's not mentioned at all. Kasyascha Parameshwasaha
Kasyascha Parameshwasaha
Shikandi cha Maharataha
Shikandi cha Maharataha
Drishtadyumno Viratascha
Drishtadyumno Viratascha
Satyakischa Parajitaha
Satyakischa Parajitaha
Kasyascha Parameshwasaha. Kasyascha refers to Kashi. Parameshwasaha. Ichu means what? You all read studied.
Arrow.
Correct.
Yeah, issued him a
Actually, it is referring to bow and arrow here.
Bow and arrow.
Parameshwar. Parama also I told you the meaning. Parama is Parameshwaran solron. What does Parameshwaran means?
Supreme.
Ishvara means God. Parameshwara means
supreme.
Supreme.
Supreme. He is above all.
Right.
Parameshwasaha, one who was extremely talented in bows and arrows. Kasyascha Parameshwasaha means the Raja of Kashi who was an expert in bows and arrows, archer. In other words, archer. So this is Kashi Maharaja who was very good in archery. Shikandi cha Maharataha. Who was Shikandi?
He was a person.
Let's say ask Kashyap.
Shikandi.
Kashyap, you know who Shikandi?
Drupada's daughter.
Drupada's daughter.
No,
Drupada was
she
the
is
king
a
of
person who is going to really kill Bhishma.
Bhishma.
You know what happened? There is a story behind it.
அந்த அம்பாவோட
Amba,
அம்பிகா
Ambika, Ambalika, three daughters of Kashi Maharaja, were brought by Bhishma to get married to Vichitravirya. But on the way, they met a king called Shalya. They had a fight, and Bhishma really liked that person, but then he defeated him. But Amba really liked that person. So when they came to get married, Ambika and Ambalika were both married to Vichitraviryan. But Amba said, I like to marry Shalya because he is a very brave person. I want that. So she went. But Shalya said, now Bhishma defeated me and you went along with him. Why should I marry you? I will not marry you. You go back to Bhishma. So she went back to Bhishma and said, Bhishma, now you marry me because Shalya has refused. You already got Vichitravirya married, but you are a bachelor, so you better marry me. Bhishma said, look, I can't. I have taken a vow of celibacy. I just can't. I am sorry about it. So she said, you know what to do. So Bhishma said, you go back to Shalya. Now she was being shunted around. She got very angry. It's all because of you, Bhishma, that I am going through all these sufferings. One day, I am going to take my revenge on you. And she was born as Shikandini, then became Shikandi. She was born as a daughter, then became Shikandi. And she is the one, he is the one who is the Maharataha. I told you the meaning of Maharataha. It's a title because they can
If he
One
tells it.
single-handedly fight more than 10,000 soldiers.
I think it's because Drupada already said that Shikandi cannot fight because she's a girl, she cannot fight, and so
Yes,
she
exactly.
became a boy.
Well, I think there is a little more to that, but let's not go into the details because every one of those will have long stories.
Yeah.
Drishtudumno Viratascha. Drishtudumno we talked about.
Yeah.
Drupada Maharaja's son. Viratascha. Viratas is also the name of a king. Satyaki is also the name of a king. Aparajitaha. Aparajitaha means ever successful. Never lost a battle.
Never.
So Satyaki. It refers to, is an adjective to Satyaki. So these are the kings who are on Pandava's side. So let's move to the next slokam. Drupato Draupadeyascha
Draupadeyascha
Sarvasaha Prativipate
Sarvashaha Prativipate
Saubhadrascha Mahabahuhu
Saubhadrascha Mahabahuhu
Shankan Dadmuhu Pritak Pritak
Shankan Dadmuhu Pritak Pritak
Drupato Draupadeyascha. Drupada is referring to Drupada Maharaja. Draupadeyascha referring to sons of Draupadi. She had 5 sons. With 5 from Pandavas, 5 sons. All of them were there. Sarvasaha Prithivipate. Prithvi means earth. Pate means kings. Kings of the earth. They are different kings. Different kings of different kingdoms. That's what it means. Saubhadrascha. Saubhadra is Subhadrascha Putraha Saubhadra. Who was Saubhadra? Abhimanyu, correct. Abhimanyu was a great warrior. Mahabahuhu, with big shoulders and big arms.
Arjuna.
Mahabahuhu. Shankan Dadmuhu Pritak Pritak. Now Shankan Dadmuhu Pritak Pritak means respective. They all had their
Respective
in this case they are not mentioning the names of the conches, but they all blew their respective conches.
I thought so.
Sagosho Dadra Rashtranam
Sagosho Dhadra Rashranam
Hridayani
Hridayani
Vyadarayat
Yadharayat
Nabascha Prithivim Chaiva
Navascha Prithivim Chaiva
Tumulo Vyanunadayan
Tumulo Vyanunadayan
Sagosho, that sound. Kosham padutun chudba Tamil kuda. Kosham refers to sound. Sagosho, Dardar Rashtranam. Who are Dardar Rashtranam?
Dhritarashtra sons.
Dhritarashtra's sons. The Kauravas. Actually, the term Kaurava refers to both Pandavas and Kuru.
Right, from the Kuru
Because they
dynasty.
come into the same Kuru Vamsham, but I think for distinction purposes, they have made it as sons of Dhritarashtra and sons of Pandu. So that you know, if you call everybody as Kuru, then there will be confusion. So here referring to Dardra Rashtrana, the Kauravas. Hridayani Vyadarayat. Hridayani means Vyadharayati. Resounding, reverberating, very strong, piercing. That sound was so much that their heart was getting shaken.
That's the idea in war.
That's the war. So they are fearful, That's what is going to happen. Nabascha Prithivi Chaiva. Nabascha Prithivi Chaiva. Nabam means sky. Prithivi means earth. The sound was pervading, reverberating from sky to the earth. That was a kind of sound. It is just a magnitude of the sound. Tumulo Janunadayan. Tumulo, I explained last time, tumultuous. I see the difference. Sanskrit la tumulo, English they say tumultuous. There's something together. Tumultuous. Janunadayan. Janunadayan again is Anunada is resounding. It's giving echo. Echo. Atat vyavasthivan drishtva
Atadvyavasthivan Drishtva
Dardrarashtran kapidvajaha
Dardrarashram kapidvajaha
pravritte sastra sampate
Pravritte shastra sampade
Danuruttamya Pandavaha
Danurudhyamya Pandavaha
Rishikesham tada vakyam
Rishikesham tada vakyam
Idamaha mahipate
Idamaha mahipate
Ata vyavasthitan drishtva. Now, Atha means thereafter. It is actually signaling change. This is a very crucial point. This verse 20, it is signaling a change in the scenario of war. Everybody was ready, they have all blown the conches, ready to start fighting. But Kadashi Nimishatala, there is some change. It usually happens, last minute, surprise or shock, whatever it is. So at this point of time, thereafter, you find there is a sudden change in the scenario. And what is that scenario? Vestitan Drishtva. Now, who is seeing this before this battle is to start? Everybody is looking at the readiness. They are about to shoot the arrows. But they all look at Dardarashtran, Kapidvajaha. Who is Kapidvaja? Who is Kapi? Kapi means monkey.
Monkey.
Yeah.
Monkey. Where is the monkey coming in here?
The flag.
The flag.
On the chariot, on top of it, there is a flag of Hanuman. Therefore, Kapidvajaha refers to the flag of Hanuman. Dardarashtan, they looked at this flying high on the chariot. Pravritte Sastra Sampate. Sastra means weapons. Sampati means release. Pravritte Sastra Sampate. Just before the weapons are going to be released, Danuruddhamya Pandavaha. Pandavaha refers to Arjuna. When they wave a white flag, what happens? Peace. So he lifted his Dhanus. Stop. Don't shoot. Don't shoot. So he has obviously something in mind when he says stop, don't shoot. Rishikesham tada vakyam idamahamati pate. Now, even at this stage, what happens is Arjuna is still very angry. But he wants to review the army. And he has something in mind which is not clear at this stage. But it is signaling some change because he is asking people to stop shooting. Otherwise, in 1 second, everybody will start. But at the last minute, he says, hold on. And then, Rishikesham tada. Rishikesham is referring to Krishna. Vakyam idamaha mahipate. He is waiting for the words to come out. So the next sentence, verse is it, Arjuna uvacha Senayor ubayor madhye Ratam sthapayame achyuta. Arjuna uvacha means Arjuna said. Just as you're waiting, Krishna was waiting to hear from him. Arjuna says, Senayor ubayor madhye. Sena means
In between
army.
them, between
There
the
are armies. Ubayor madhye. Between the two armies, take the ratham, the chariot, and station it there. Me Achyuta. Achyuta is the title, name of Krishna. What does Achyuta mean? I think I did mention it before.
Achyutanama Anantana.
Yeah.
Achyutaya Nama is, we do Achamane, but what does Achyuta mean? Achyuta means one who doesn't let you down, who doesn't slip away. Kai Guduppan, Kala Vari Vidamata. இதோ தமிழில் சொல்லுவாங்க காலவாரி விட்டுட்டான்னு லாஸ்ட் மினிட்ல. அது மாதிரி கால வாராம he is giving you a steady support. Steady support. That's why it's called Achyuta. Senor Bhyormadye Ratam Sthabim Achyuta. So you take this towards the center of the two armies. Okay. Yavadetan nirikshaham
Yavadetan nirikshaham
Yodhakaman avasthitan Kairmeha saha yodhavya
saha yodhavya.
Yodhavyam you can say, or you can say yodhavyam asmin.
Yodhavyam
Kairmaya saha yodhavyam
Kairmaya saha yodhavyam
asmin rana samudyame. Now, Yostyavan Avechakam. This means the people who are really desirous or coming there with the intention of fighting. Yotyasman Avechakam. Avechakam means I see. I see the people who come here with the intention of fighting. Ete atra samagataha. The people who are assembled here, samagataha is assembly. Ete atra, here. Dadar Rashtrasya, belonging to Dhritarashtra. That means referring to Kauravas. Durbuddhe yuddhe. Durbuddhe means what?
Where are you?
Evil-minded. People who have
You are in the next verse.
terrible fellows. Yeah?
You are in the next
You're
verse.
the next verse, Dad.
Oh, sorry. I missed out one.
Yeah.
No.
Kairmya saha
Sorry. We were Yodhakaman avasthitan.
Correct.
Yodhakaman is desirous. I was just about it. Desirous of fighting. Avasthitan. Avasthitan means those who are standing there. Kairmaya. Kairmaya means with whom? Me. Maya means me. Saha, together. Yodhva asmin. Yodhva asmin. Asmin in this. I want to see who are the people with whom I should fight. Yodhva asmin. Rana samudde, with whom I have to fight. Though the next slogan, Yotsamanan avechaham
Yotsamanan avekshaham
etatra samagataha
Etatra samagataha
Dadra rashtrasya durbuddhe
Dadrashtrasya durbuddhe
Yuddhe priyachikirshavaha.
Yuddhe priyashikishavaha.
So here also Yotsamanan referring to those people who have come there with the intention of fighting, who have assembled there, samagataha. Dadra rashtra, the people of Kauravas, Dadra rashtra. Durbuddhe is evil-minded people, evil people. In battle, Chikirshavaha, Priya means those who are fond, who are wishing. Chikirshavaha want to please the Kauravas. There are other kings. It is not just only the Kauravas, but there are so many other kings who are supporting the Kauravas, who are wanting to please them. There are small kingdoms. They all take sides. Like you had the allies in any war. So there are a lot of allies who are all having evil mind. The evil-minded people are really the Kauravas, and such evil-minded people who are doing the adharmic activities are being supported by people who want to please them. So I want to see them. Who are these people? Who are the Kauravas with whom I have to fight? Who are the other kings who have got supporting, who are pleasing all these durbuddhi fellows who are having evil mind? Now suddenly the scene shifts to Sanjaya Vacha. Who was Sanjaya?
He is
The
Dhritarashtra.
person who was the television for Dhritarashtra, who used to project what is happening around with sound and visual effects. Not only that, he had one more effect which has not come into today's TV. Sanjaya could even visualize the mind of the people. Could even visualize the minds of the people on the battlefield and translate it to Dhritarashtra. He had that kind of a power. which today in TV you haven't got that. If you watch the television, they won't know what you are thinking, and you won't know what they are thinking. But you had the power. So Sanjaya was a great person. So here actually the scene shifts to Sanjaya telling Dhritarashtra, Eva mukto rishikesho Gudakeshena Bharata Senayor Ubayor Madhye Stapayitva Ratottamam. Now Sanjaya told Dhritarashtra, Evam Ukta, thus addressed. Rishikesha is referring to Krishna here. Guda Keshena Bharata. Because who is addressing Krishna? It is Arjuna who is telling him. But Sanjaya is telling Dhritarashtra that Arjuna was addressed by Krishna like this. Guda Keshena Bharata. Guda Keshena is the title of Arjuna. Bharata is also Bharata Vamsham. In fact, with our country, Bharat comes from Bharat. Who was Bharat?
Shakuntala.
Dushyantan and Shakuntala's son. Kuru Vamsham came later. But originally, it was Bharata. And from him, the descendants were Kuru. That's how we got the name as Bharat for India. So, this title is given, Guda Keshena Bharata. Both are referring to Arjuna. Guda Keshena means what? Guda means sleep. One who is without sleep. He doesn't sleep. He is so active. He is something who is able to overcome sleep. He can sleep whenever he wants. But he can remain without sleep also. So that is the title. Guda Keshena Bharata. He is somebody who has that kind of power. Not only was a great warrior, you will find many of the people who are very successful, who are very heroic in whatever activities, even today, they will find it sufficient to have just a few hours of sleep. They won't sleep for 8 hours, 9 hours. You find many of the top executives in corporations, top government officials, they have very little sleep really. They can take rest at whenever they will want. They just close the eyes for a couple of minutes and they relax. So he had that power. So he is being addressed as Guda Keshena Bharata. Senayor Ubyor Madhye Stapiyatva Ratottamam. So hearing that the chariot has been stationed in between the two armies. So this is what Sanjaya is telling Dhritarashtra. Bhishma Drona Pramukataha Sarvesham cha Mahichitam Uvacha Partha Pasyetam Samavetan Kuruniti. Now Bhishma Drona Pramukataha. Tamil Pramukan Chulva Terima. Andhra Telugu also got Pramuka means what?
It's a famous people.
Why famous? Because they sit in the first row. When you go to any programs, they are given the honor of the first row. So here it refers to Pramukata. Those people who are standing in the front row.
Even in cricket
Bhishma,
matches.
Drona, they are all the people who are leading the army. Therefore, they are in the first row. Pramukataha. Sarvesham cha Mahishitam. And all the other rulers of the earth, Mahishitam, Sarvesham. Uvacha Partha. Arjuna said. Partha is referring to Arjuna. Why is he called Partha? His mother's name was Kunti, but Kunti had another name also. It was Pritha. Kunti's another name was Pritha. So because he was son of Pritha, he got the name as Partha. And who is Partha Sarthi? Krishna. Because he was doing the driver's job. Pashyetan, Samavetan Kuruniti. Pashyetan, See the people who have assembled here. It's in front of Bhima, Drona and all the kings of the world. He said, behold, look, Arjuna, they are all the people with whom you are going to fight. Krishna is saying this. See, Kuru Niti is referring to Kuru Vamsam. Kuru Niti is dynasty of Kuru. The other people are from the Kuru dynasty. Pashyaitam, look at them. Now there is something here. Why is Bhishma and Drona specially mentioned here? Because this chariot has been stationed right in front of them. Oh, there is a purpose why it has done it, because Arjuna is very deeply attached to Bhishma and Drona. Bhishma was the great-great-grandfather, Pitamaha, with whom as a child he was raised. And Dronacharya taught him all the warfare. So he has got the deep emotional attachment with them. Krishna knows that. That's why he is parking the chariot right in front of them. He could have parked it somewhere else, Maybe before Duryodhana or Karna, his anger would have multiplied. He would have sought the command, start the war immediately. But here, he is not doing that. He is specially, intentionally parking the chariot before Bhishma and Drona so that he will think twice. His mind will get revealed. If he had been parked somewhere else, there will be no Bhagavad Gita. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Tatra pasyasthitan parthaha
Tatra pasyasthitan parthaha
Pitrun atapita mahan
Pitrun atapitamahan
Acharyan matulan pratrun
Acharyan matulan pratrun
Putran pautran sakim sata.
Putran pautran sakim sata.
Now what did he see? He parked the chariot before these people. And what did he see there? Tatra pasyat means he saw. Sthitan parthaha pitrunata pitamahan. He saw Arjuna. This is parthaha pasyat. Actually partha refers to Arjuna. Arjuna saw. Tatra means there. Pitrun. Pitrun means what?
Father-like.
Fathers. Why fathers? It should be only one father, isn't it? But according to Shastras, every person has 5 different fathers. One is a biological father. Second, when he does Upanayana, the person who really tells Hindi, they have this cover over the parents. The father is telling him. Sometimes it can be Periyappa or Chittappa if father is not available. So whoever does that, it becomes a father. Third is the person who really gives him the Gayatri, Guru. Guru who teaches him. And fourth will be the person who gives him food, Annadata. You know, there are people without parents, somebody is raising them, they are feeding them. That person is also a father, Annadata. And lastly, the person who rescues you from danger, life-threatening. You are in war and there is an elderly person who really rescues you from the danger. Your life is saved by him. He is given the status of a father. He is rescuing you like a son. So there are different kinds of fathers. So that is why you have this word in plural. Pitrun, Atha, Pita Mahan. Pita Mahan is grandfathers. There are so many of them. Acharyan, the teachers, gurus. Matulan, maternal uncles. Bratrun, brothers, cousins. Putran, their sons. Pautran, grandsons. Sakhim.
Friends.
Sata. This is fairly easy to understand. So he saw there these people, fathers, grandfathers, maternal uncles, the people with whom he played together as friends, all his cousins, their children, their grandchildren, and so on. You see how this tempo is developing now? His attachment is playing a part there. So, next one. Shashuran Suhradishchaiva
Shashuran
Suhradishchaiva
Senayor Upayorapi
Senayorupayorapi
Tan Samichase Kaunteyaha
Tan Samikshasa Kaunteya
Sarvan Bandhun Avasthitan
Sarvan Bandhun Avasthitan
Kaunteya. Kaunteya means
Kunti.
coming from Kunti, correct. Son of Kunti. Who is son of Kunti?
Pandavas.
You see the words, same person, but being described in different ways. Names are different, titles are different, what I mentioned in the overview. So you have to understand, why they are not mentioning Arjuna, why can't they be simple? No. Here he wants you to understand that he is son of Kunti. Earlier he said something else, Partha. So he wants you to understand, see, Kunti also had another name. So Vyasacharya, he's composed it so beautifully for you to know the entire story. That's the reason why we started off with the family background. So you should know who is what. Only then you can understand it much better. Kaunteyaha. Now, Sarvan Bandhun Avasthitan. San Samichase Kaunteya Sarvan Bandhun Avasthitan. Sarvan Bandhun means what?
Relatives. People who
Actually,
you
you
bond
find
with.
bond. Bandhu. You see the similarity again. Bandhus actually means people with who are attached. Sarvan Bandhun, all people who are bound by. So they are the people who are there. Sarvan Bandhun Avasthitan. Sasuran means Sasura. In Hindi,
In-laws.
father-in-law, you know it. Father-in-laws, Sasuran. So here he sees there when they between the armies, all people who including in-laws and the people who are bonded to him in affection. So you find there is some transformation happening to Arjuna, that he looks at them and he finds there are people who are very deeply attached to him and people who are who grew up with him, who played with him. Some memories. If it had been a movie, they will show you, flashback.
Playing
How they played as children together, and that makes him think again, and then they'll give different sound effects like you find in James Bond movies. All kinds of effects will come to just portray what is really happening. But here it's only words. I'm only telling you the effect because this is how in movies they project it, so that you understand what is happening. But here the whole word is made into a Sanskrit verse to just tell you there are different kinds of people, but there is something happening in the background, and there is emotional impact from an angry soldier to a person who is getting emotional. Kripaya paraya vishto
Kripaya paraya vishto
vishidannitam abrivit
Vishishanidam abravit
Nidamabravit.
Kripaya paraya vishto
Kripaya paraya vishto
vishidannitam abrivit.
Vishishanidam abravit
Now, Kripaya. Kripayana enna solluva sadharanama?
Kindness.
Kindness nu solluva, compassion nu solluva. But here actually Kripaya refers to
Please.
the attachment, not compassion, but attachment. The emotional attachment that Arjuna has got. Kripaya. Paraya Vishto. Paraya Vishto. Para, I told you, is high. An attachment of a very high order. Strong attachment. Vishida. They call Vishada Yoga. Why? Vishada means what? Despair, sorrow, grief. That is the effect. Vishidanida Vambravit. Vishidanida means he is overpowered. Arjuna is overpowered with sorrow. A kind of deep attachment to these people, which is overpowering. Stronger the attachment, stronger the grief. If you were to buy a beautiful TV, next day somebody comes and breaks it, how would you feel about it? Will you not feel? Because you are attached to it. I bought it with my hard-earned money, it's a beautiful television and somebody has come and broken it. So you will get really angry at him. Why? Because you are attached to that. Like children. When I was a kid and I used to fight with somebody, there was a Pailwan, his name was Alat, and he had two sons. And we used to play together. One day my younger brother, who is here, he was playing with him, he took a knife and just scratched him. That boy, he started bleeding and he went to his father and complained. With a big moustache, he was a real well-built chap. And he came to my mother and said, I am going to do the same thing to your son. Come on, bring him. My mother got terrified. Because that person was so deeply attached with his son, which is natural, not unnatural, that came into anger and grief. Sorrow, you want to take a revenge. This is what typically happens, right? So in this case, Arjuna overcame with attachment, overpowered by attachment, which led him to sorrow. So I did mention earlier about these three stages of samsara, what is called raga, shoka and moha. Raga is really the one of attachment. Shoka leads to sorrow and eventually moha. So these are three stages in samsara. And here he is getting an angry soldier who really wanted to fight. Now he is overcome with emotion. Arjuna uvacha.
Arjuna uvacha.
Ishtavemam swajanam Krishna.
Drishtavemam swajanam Krishna.
Yujutsam samupasthitam.
Yujutsam samupasthitam.
So Arjuna tells, this is the Drishtamevam Swajanam Krishna. Krishna, looking at my own people. Swajana means my own people. Just a few seconds back, he says Durbuddhiyo. See how suddenly the mind has changed? Few minutes ago, or few seconds ago, he said Durbuddhi, evil-minded people. Now he says they are my people. Namma aadu. Ivangala namma aalunga. Suddenly his mind has changed. Krishna yutsam sabupasthitam. Now what happens usually is that when emotions go very strong, it has an effect on your body. When somebody is very angry, the eyes get red. Kovattala kannu shavandu pogum solva. It becomes red. Your heart starts beating faster. These are all effect of the attachment which you have, and that is getting impacted. So as a result, your body also undergoes changes. Yutsam sabupasthitam. Oh Krishna, seeing all these people who are assembled today, Yutsam means wanting to fight. Samupastitam, they are all here wanting to fight with me, and I have seen them. Drishtamevam Swajanam. These my own people, they want to fight. After looking at this, Sidanti mama gatrani,
Sidanti mama gatrani,
Mukam cha parisushyati,
Mukam cha parishushyati,
Vepatuscha sharire me,
Vepatuscha sharire me,
Roma harshascha jayate,
Roma harshascha jayate.
Sidanti mama gatrani. Sidanti is weakening. நல்ல ஆள் காத்திரமா இருக்கான், திடகாத்திரமா இருக்கான்னு சொல்லுவா. திடகாத்திரமா இருக்கான்னு அர்த்தம்
சாலிடா
காத்திரம்னா உடம்பு. Slims, a very strong fellow. Mama gatrani, என்னுடைய body, my body, Sidanti is getting weakened. Getting weakened. Mukam cha parisushyati, my mouth is getting dried up. You know, if somebody were to give a public speech for the first time, some of you might have had the experience. You would have prepared thoroughly and written down all the notes and everything, and you would be really hoping to deliver an excellent lecture. But when you see the crowd around and you go up on the stage, suddenly you find your heart starts beating faster and your mouth starts drying up and you start bubbling. You don't know what to say. So this is what happens there, that when he sees these people, Sidanti mama gatrani, my limbs are getting weakened. Mukam cha parisushyasi, my mouth is getting dried up. Vepatuscha sharire me, Vepatuscha is trembling, shivering. My body, sharire me, I feel a shiver going up in my body. Roma harshascha jayate, Roma harshate, my hair is all standing up against. When you are excited, this happens, or even when you are angry, your hair starts, what do you call it in English? Horripilation, is it? I think it's a word called
Goosebumps.
Huh?
Goosebumps are things that come, but hair is like.
Yeah, I think there is a word called horripilation, if I am right. My English is not so good. Horripilation, which means your hair, they stand on ends.
Yeah.
When you are overcome with emotion. So she is describing that this is what is happening to me.
It's called the Heckles rising.
Gandivam
Gandivam
sramsate hastat
Gandivam samsate hastat
tvakchaiva paridahyate
Tvachaiva paridahyate
nacha shaknom
Nacha shaknom
avastatum brahmativa cha me manaha.
Brahmativa cha me manaha.
Gandivam is
Arjuna's
bow. Samskriti means slipping from my hand. Because my body is unsteady, the Gandivam bow is slipping from my hand. Hastat is hands. From my hands. Tvakchaiva paridahyate. Now, the body is getting kind of heated up. Dahyate. Something is happening with me. Getting heated up. Nacha saknomi. I am not able to avastatum stand even. Brahmati vachai manaha. My mind is getting some kind of a fear. I am not able to hold my bow, the bow is slipping, my body is getting heated up. I am not able to even stand. And there is some kind of a fear in my heart. Nimittani cha pashyami,
Nimittani cha pashyami,
viparitani keshavaha,
Viparitani keshavaha,
nacha shreyo anupashyami,
Nacha shreyo anupashyami,
hatva swajanamahave.
Hatva swajanamahave,
Nimittani cha pashyami. Nimittam means omens. Omens. I am seeing omens. Viparitani. inauspicious. I'm seeing inauspicious. You know, when you are having a fear, everything becomes wrong. So even if there is a cat going, you think it's a black cat is crossing, so I have, it is not going to happen. Because inside your mind, you have the fear. Many of these omens, people describe it in the way suits them. There is a single Brahmin coming, you know, it is considered bad. Oh, how can you help it? Somebody is coming, and because you are starting to do some work and you are not very sure whether you are going to succeed or not, so this fellow came, that is why the job is gone. So you start ascribing that person's visit as a bad omen. You vandale urpadadu karyam. So these are some of the things that people imagine themselves when they have desire in their mind, I am not going to succeed. So they give that as a
alibi.
Give the dog a bad name and hang it, as they call it.
Yeah,
in English.
that's about.
Give the dog a bad name and hang it. This is what is happening. So I am seeing very bad omens. Krishna, I think it is going to be bad. Let's not do this. You know, this
Do they
war
say
is
like what omen he's seeing? They're not saying.
They're
what?
not saying that.
Okay.
He's not saying, but he is imagining. He's not saying what omens. But nimittani cha pasyami viparitani keshava. I am seeing some bad omens. In other words, he doesn't want to fight. So he is trying to say that, well, these omens are very bad, so let's not do it. Nacha sreyo na pasyami hatva swajanamahave. I do not see any good, you know, hatva swajanamahave. Killing my own people. What good it is? See, he said, these people are durbuddhi, evil-minded people, and I want to see who are the people who are pleasing them. Same person, suddenly, he is transformed to say, what is the point in killing my own people? He is asking Krishna. You see how he has developed the problem in his own mind. Because of very strong attachment with people, especially with Bhishma and Drona, before whom he stood, and his mind starts flashing back. How can I kill these people? These people, they raised me. They gave me food. They taught me everything. How can I go and kill these people? That's in his mind, and that emotional attachment has led to grief, sorrow, and he is now letting out his mind. So he speaks his mind to Keshava, saying, nah, he see very bad omens, because he doesn't want to do the job. And he's trying to find excuses now. Say, see, my body is getting weak, I don't know what to do, I think I'm going to fall down. What's the point in killing my own people? I see very little point. Let's cancel the whole thing.
Yeah, cancel the program.
So this is where the situation stands right now. So let's stop here, and we will continue with the other. There are 47 verses in this chapter, so we're going to have 16 more coming up next lesson, which will complete our first Vishada Yoga chapter 4. As you go, you see the tempo is building up like you see in movies. And you find gradually the tempo is building up. Suddenly it has become from RV, now it is come to the mind now. Then you see how he is going to speak out further. Actually, the real samvadam between Arjuna and Krishna starts only from the verse 11 of chapter 2. So Adi Shankara, who wrote the commentary for Bhagavad Gita, he didn't mention anything about chapter 1 at all. He starts his commentary only from the verse 11 of chapter 2. Because he found this was not really worth commenting upon. So he wanted to go straight away to that one. But when we start reading Bhagavad Gita, we should know the background of what has happened, and then only go to, because it is very difficult for you to follow the gist of, there are quite a number of statements made by Krishna which are very hard to understand for an ordinary person. There is deep philosophy. At the same time, it gives you a guidance on how to deal with problems, how to deal with challenges in life. which are going to be there for everybody. It existed for Arjuna at that time, thousands of years back. It is existing today in our daily life. So that is why Gita is called Gita Upanishad. So it teaches you that. So we will stop at this time and then we will continue the lesson next week. Okay. Sarvatra Govinda Nama Sankirtanam
Govinda, Govinda.